Let's get into it. I've got my 2002 Les Paul Standard with some excellent Martin A. Smith PAF style humbuckers. That is going into a Decibel 11 loop expander. I have 3 independent loops, each of which has the pedals you can see on the screen. I've got an Anarchy Audio workhorse. This is a clon style drive. Next to that, we have the Anarchy Audio gain of tones based around a Bluesbreaker style circuit. So think Analog Man, King of Tone. Arguably the clon and the King of Tone are the 2 most desirable and influential modern drive pedals out there. And next to that, we have nobody's favorite Tubescreamer, the Ibanez Sound Tank, but it's got rear mount jacks and it sounds like a Tubescreamer, so it is going in this clip. That's all going into my Axe FX3. I've got the Bandmaster set at stock settings. Sounds like this on the neck pickup. Let's hear where I have each of these dialed in at the moment. Let's hear the workhorse. Very nice and punchy and aggressive there. Let's hear the gain of tones. That definitely has a different thing going on. You can hear a different clipping character in there. And to me, the workhorse kind of has a bit of a driven Marshall style character, whereas the gain of tones has more of a driven Fender style character. Let's hear the Sound Tank. This sounds surprisingly good in my opinion, given you know how kind of maligned this design is. Let's go in reverse order on the bridge pickup, so it will be Sound Tank, gain of tones, workhorse. Now, obviously, I have pre-dialed these in to my taste. Let's just play around, for example, with the gain control on the workhorse, because a clon-style circuit is very interesting in that gain control actually works as a blend between a clean boost circuit and a drive circuit. So if I turn it all the way up, as opposed to having it turned all the way down. And with the gain quite low, I think that's where the magic happens with something like the workhorse. I love that. I would describe it as it just gives you more of your existing tone, like more of what you like and none of what you don't like. With the gain turned all the way up, it's cool. It just kind of sounds a little bit more like a typical overdrive pedal. Let's go over to the gain of tones, and I'm just going to play around with the little presence control on this, because something like a Bluesbreaker or a King of Tone doesn't have this. This really lets you kind of cater the drive to your amp and to your guitar. So let's hear the presence control. You know what? I'm going to start with it all the way down, and then I'll do it all the way up, and then I'll find the sweet spot. You can hear there that the presence control works the opposite way that you would expect. As you turn it down, it actually gets a lot more bright and aggressive. As you turn it up, it kind of gets darker and mellower. So the presence control there really gives you a nice wide range of different drive, I guess, textures in there. If you want more of the kind of bitey, stingy Marshall thing, turn the presence down. And if you want more of just kind of a mellow, bluesy thing, you can crank it up. Let's hear the sound tank now. I'm going to give it a bit more drive and a bit more of the tone control. I said it's nobody's favorite Tubescreamer, but that actually sounds surprisingly good. Now that's the way most people would do a typical drive shootout. They would use their amp as a pedal platform and use the pedals for drive. But that's never the way I use pedals live. I used to either gig with something like a Marshall DSL 50, and I would kind of set it up like this, where it's crunchy with everything off. Tasty stuff, but I would then use the pedals more as a boost to give me more gain and a tone shaping tool to just kind of change the characteristics of the drive on the amp. So what I've done with the pedals, I have set them all with the level controls all the way up, the drive down, and I've just kind of set the tone to taste to give me a little bit more of this. So let's hear the workhorse. So to me, that was my 3-channel amp. The amp crunchy, volume control down for a cleaner thing, kick the pedal in for your solos. Let's hear the gain of tones. I really like the workhorse in this kind of setting. You can hear that that clean boost setting just takes that crunch and just sends it next level, whereas the Tubescreamer does its thing. It kind of adds that mid hump, it attenuates a bit of low end and a bit of high end, so it kind of smooths things out, which the workhorse doesn't do. And the gain of tones is a little bit in the middle. I didn't dislike that one. I would probably use that more to actually add a little bit of clipping pre-amp as well and just kind of make the amp sound a little bit woollier and not quite a fuzz, but it just gives you that kind of different texture to it, whereas the workhorse just gives you what you had, but more of it. Let's hear them all back to back. We'll start dry and then I will kick them in one by one. So that's where the magic is at for these type of drive pedals, in my opinion. Anyway, they do sound phenomenal into a pedal platform, a really clean amp. They sound great stacked as well into a clean amp. For example, if we take, what could we do? Let's take the Workhorse into the gainer tone. So that's a massive amount of fun, but like I said earlier, there's just something about getting your core sound from your amp, using your guitar controls, and using something like the Workhorse to just push your amp into that glorious, glorious overdrive that we all know and love. But that's just me. How do you like to use overdrives? Do you like the pedal platform route where you might use multiple drives and combine them to get different textures and different tones? Or do you just like getting the gain from your amp and using a pedal to either kind of tighten up the front end or give you a little bit more sizzle when you go for a solo? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it was somewhat informative, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.